Ladies, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some women effortlessly draw men in while others struggle to keep a man's attention? It's not about looks. It's not about chasing. It's about how you make him feel. The truth is, men don't fall for words, they fall for the emotions you ignite in them. When you understand how to trigger his deepest desires, he won't just want you, he'll crave you. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to speak to a man in a way that makes him addicted to you. Are you ready? Let's go. Most women talk to men the way they talk to their girlfriends, through logic, details, and direct conversation. But men don't respond the same way. They don't just hear words, they feel them. Every word you say, the way you say it, the timing and the energy behind it all trigger something deep inside their subconscious. If you want a man to be drawn to you on a level he can't even explain, you must understand how to speak to his emotions, not just his ears. Imagine this. You're expressing your feelings to a man, and instead of him opening up, he pulls away, gets defensive, or shuts down. You think, why doesn't he understand? But the problem isn't that he doesn't care. It's that the way you're communicating isn't activating his emotional triggers in the right way. Men don't respond well to complaints, criticism, or demands. If you tell a man, you never listen to me, his brain processes it as an attack. Instead of wanting to fix the problem, he feels the need to defend himself, shut down, or disengage. This is why so many women feel unheard and frustrated. They are saying the right things in the wrong way. Now let's flip the script. Instead of saying, you never listen to me, say, I feel closest to you when you really hear me out. It makes me feel safe and understood. You see the difference? The first version triggers his defense mechanisms. The second version invites him to step into his role as the man who protects and provides emotionally. Men respond to positive reinforcement far more than they respond to pressure. If you tell him what he's doing wrong, he will shut down. But if you tell him what makes you feel good and safe with him, he will want to do more of that, because men are wired to seek success and avoid failure. Another way to trigger his emotions is through curiosity and challenge. If a man feels like he's figured you out completely, his interest starts to fade. But when he senses that there's always more to discover about you, his subconscious stays engaged. This is why the most irresistible women have an element of mystery. It's not about playing games, it's about keeping the dynamic alive so he constantly feels excited to be around you. Let's talk about the way your energy impacts your words. You could say the perfect thing, but if your energy feels desperate, needy, or demanding, he will pull away. Men can feel when a woman is speaking from confidence and abundance versus fear and insecurity. The difference is huge. A confident woman doesn't need to beg for attention. She doesn't over-explain. She doesn't try to force a reaction. Instead, she knows the power of silence, timing, and curiosity. She asks questions that make him think. She pauses, allowing tension to build. She doesn't feel the need to fill every moment with words. She lets her presence do the work. For example, instead of constantly asking, do you like me? Do you love me? Which creates pressure, she might say something like, I love the way you look at me when you're really into something I'm saying. It's so attractive. This subtly plants a seed in his mind that makes him want to look at you that way more often. Men are wired to seek emotional highs. They are naturally drawn to situations that make them feel powerful, needed, and successful. The way you speak to him can either make him feel like a winner or make him feel like he's failing. If he associates your presence with success, if he feels like he can make you happy, impress you, and be his best self around you, he will crave that feeling again and again. But if he feels like no matter what he does, it's never enough, he will start to pull away, not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't want to feel like he's failing. This is why how you phrase things is everything. Instead of saying, why don't you ever plan anything for us? Say, I love it when you take charge. It makes me feel so taken care of. You're saying the same thing, but in a way that makes him want to step up. Instead of feeling criticized, this tiny shift makes all the difference. When you start speaking to a man's deep emotional drivers, he won't just listen to you, he will feel drawn to you in a way he can't resist. Because now, when he's with you, he doesn't just hear your words, he feels something powerful. And that feeling will keep him coming back for more. Men are wired differently from women when it comes to relationships and emotional connection. While women often seek deep emotional bonding through verbal communication, men are driven by something equally powerful: the need to feel respected and admired. This isn't about inflating his ego or playing games. It's about recognizing a core aspect of male psychology. When a man feels truly respected by a woman, it creates an emotional pull that he can't resist. It makes him feel safe, valued, and deeply connected. Now let's talk about how this works in real life. A man's greatest fear is failure, especially in the eyes of someone he cares about. If he feels like he's constantly letting you down, being criticized, or not measuring up, he will start to withdraw. Not because he doesn't love you, but because he doesn't want to feel like a failure around you. The more a man feels like he's losing in a relationship, the more likely he is to emotionally check out. But when you make a man feel like a winner, everything changes. He naturally wants to be around you more because your presence becomes a place where he feels empowered, appreciated, and capable. When a man feels like he's winning with you, when he knows he can make you happy, impress you, and be his best self around you, he will keep showing up, trying harder, and deepening his connection with you. So how do you make him feel this way? It's all in how you communicate. Let's take a simple example. Imagine he tries to help you with something, but it's not exactly how you wanted it done. You have two choices. You can say, "Why would you do it like that? That's not what I meant." Or you can say, "I love that you put in the effort to help me. It means a lot." The first response makes him feel like he failed. The second makes him feel like a hero. And here's the secret. When he feels like a hero, he will want to do even more for you. This is the kind of reinforcement that makes a man crave your presence because he associates you with feeling powerful and appreciated. Another key element here is trusting his decisions and leadership. Now, this doesn't mean you should blindly follow whatever he says, but if a man feels like you constantly doubt him, question his abilities, or make decisions without considering him, he will feel insignificant in the relationship. A man thrives when he knows that his woman trusts his judgment. For example, if he suggests a place for dinner and you immediately shoot it down without considering it, it signals that you don't trust his decision-making. Instead, even if you have a different preference, a better way to respond would be, "That sounds great. You always pick the best places. I was also thinking about this other spot. What do you think?" This small shift makes him feel respected rather than dismissed. Another way to make a man feel deeply connected to you is by seeing the best in him and expressing it. Men are rarely complimented in the way women are. They don't often hear words of appreciation for who they are as people beyond their looks or what they can provide. If you start noticing and verbalizing his strengths, he will associate those positive feelings with you and want to be around you more. For example, if he handles a stressful situation well, tell him, "I love how you stay so calm under pressure. It's one of the things I admire most about you." If he works hard, acknowledge it. "I see how much effort you put into what you do. It's really inspiring." These aren't empty compliments. They are reinforcing the identity he wants to embody. When a man feels like you truly see him, trust him, and admire him, he will be drawn to you in a way that goes beyond physical attraction. He will crave your presence because with you, he feels like the best version of himself. And that is the kind of connection that makes a man addicted to you. A woman's most powerful tool in relationships isn't just what she says, it's the energy she brings into every interaction. Men are drawn to a woman's presence before they even process her words. This is why some women can say very little, yet captivate a man completely, while others can talk endlessly but fail to leave a lasting impression. The difference lies in their feminine energy, the ability to be both confident and soft, strong yet receptive, assertive but never aggressive. Feminine energy is not about weakness, it's about power in a different form. It's the ability to receive instead of chase, inspire instead of demand, and influence instead of control. The moment you start leading with this energy, men will naturally lean in. Why? Because masculine energy is wired to be drawn toward feminine energy. It creates polarity, the invisible force that keeps attraction alive. Many women, often without realizing it, step into masculine energy in relationships, over-explaining, over-giving, over-controlling. They feel like they need to push the relationship forward, make all the decisions, or prove their worth. But what happens when you do this? The man instinctively pulls back, not because he doesn't care, but because the dynamic is off. When you take on the role of leading and doing, it blocks his natural instinct to pursue, provide, and protect. Think of it this way. If you're always the one texting first, planning the dates, bringing up deep conversations, and trying to define the relationship, you're carrying all the weight. You're not allowing space for him to step up and show you his intentions. But when you lean back, slow down, and allow things to unfold naturally, something powerful happens. He starts to feel the space you've created, and it pulls him toward you. This is where the balance between confidence and softness comes in. Confidence means you know your worth. You don't need to prove yourself or force anything because you trust that the right man will naturally step up for you. Softness means you allow things to flow, you embrace playfulness, and you stay in the moment instead of constantly needing reassurance about the future. Imagine this scenario. You're on a date, and instead of filling every silence with words, you simply enjoy the moment. You let the pauses happen, you hold eye contact, you smile, you let them feel your presence rather than just hearing your words. This is magnetic. Because men fall for how they feel around you, not just what you say to them. The key to unlocking this dynamic is to be in your body rather than just in your mind. Feminine energy is about feeling. It's about expressing through your tone, your movement, your energy, not just your words. It's the difference between saying, I love spending time with you in a flat, robotic way versus saying it with a soft smile, warm eyes, and a playful touch. The way you say something can make all the difference in how it's received. Another crucial aspect of feminine energy is allowing a man to contribute to you. Men are wired to seek purpose through action. They need to feel needed, even in small ways. When you let a man open the door for you, offer help, or solve a problem for you, you're not being weak, you're activating his natural instinct to provide and protect. The more he feels like he can add value to your life, the more emotionally invested he becomes. Many women, out of independence or past experiences, reject this energy. They insist on doing everything themselves, not realizing that by doing so, they're unknowingly pushing men away. But when you shift into receptivity, graciously accepting his efforts, showing appreciation, and allowing him to step into his masculine role, it deepens the connection in a way that logic never could. Finally, mystery plays a huge role in feminine energy. A woman who is always available, always explaining herself, and always giving everything up front removes the element of intrigue. But a woman who keeps a little mystery, who allows a man to wonder about her, to earn her time, and to continuously discover new layers of her personality, creates an attraction that never fades. At the core of all of this is a simple truth. Men are drawn to the feeling a woman gives them. When you embody feminine energy, you don't have to chase, convince, or prove anything. Your presence alone will make him want more of you, because with you, he feels something rare, a connection that touches him on a level beyond words. And that is what makes a man truly addicted to you. A man's deepest emotional triggers aren't always what you think. While love and attraction are important, what truly makes a man crave a woman's presence is the feeling she gives him when he's around her. He doesn't fall for words alone. He falls for the way those words make him feel. If he feels energized, appreciated, and inspired in your presence, he will seek you out again and again. If he feels criticized, pressured, or emotionally drained, he will naturally start to pull away. This is why understanding how to speak to his emotions instead of just his logic is one of the most powerful things you can do in a relationship. Most women assume that if they explain their feelings clearly, a man will understand and respond. But men don't process emotions the same way women do. A man doesn't connect through explanations, he connects through experiences and feelings. For example, if you're feeling neglected and you say, "You never make time for me anymore, I feel like I'm not a priority to you," a man will likely hear that as criticism rather than an emotional request. His brain immediately goes into problem-solving mode or defense mode. He may say something like, "That's not true, we just went out last weekend." Or he may shut down entirely. Now, take the same situation and phrase it differently. "I love when we spend time together, just the two of us. It makes me feel so connected to you." Notice how this sentence creates an invitation rather than pressure. Instead of making him feel like he's failing, it reminds him of a positive experience and naturally encourages him to create more of it. This is how you speak to a man's emotions, by focusing on what you want more of instead of what's lacking. Another powerful emotional trigger for men is feeling like a provider, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally as well. A man needs to feel like he brings value to your life. If he feels unnecessary, like he could disappear and nothing would change for you, he will struggle to feel deeply invested in the relationship. This is why small moments of appreciation go a long way. If he gives you advice, even if you don't take it, acknowledge his perspective. If he helps you with something, even something small, let him know how much you appreciate it. When a man feels like he contributes to your happiness, he naturally wants to do more. But if he feels like nothing he does is ever enough, he will stop trying. One of the biggest mistakes women make is thinking that men don't have emotional needs. Men may not express their emotions the way women do, but they feel deeply. They need encouragement, admiration, and support, just like women do. The difference is that men rarely ask for these things outright. Instead, they gravitate toward the people who naturally make them feel good about themselves. A woman who knows how to uplift and inspire a man is irresistible. This doesn't mean you have to constantly praise him or boost his ego. It simply means noticing his strengths, appreciating his efforts, and reminding him of the best parts of himself. A simple statement like, "I love how you always figure things out, you're so good at handling challenges," can make a man feel 10 feet tall. When he feels like a better man in your presence, he will crave that feeling and associate it with you. Another key emotional trigger for men is the balance between security and challenge. A man needs to feel safe and accepted with you, but he also needs to feel like he is still earning you. If he feels like you're too predictable, that there's no excitement or sense of discovery left, his interest may start to fade. But when you keep a sense of mystery and playfulness, he stays engaged. This could be as simple as switching up your routines, having fun conversations that make him think, or occasionally pulling back just enough to let him wonder about you. When a man feels like he's still learning new things about you and discovering new sides of your personality, he will stay emotionally invested. At the heart of all of this is one simple truth. Men don't fall for the woman who explains herself the best. They fall for the woman who makes them feel their best. When you learn to speak to his emotions, not just his logic, you create a bond that goes beyond words, one that he won't be able to walk away from. Men are wired to respond to positive reinforcement, not pressure. They naturally seek situations where they feel successful and avoid situations where they feel like they are constantly failing. If a man associates his time with you as a place where he can win, where he feels appreciated, admired, and capable, he will keep coming back. But if he feels like no matter what he does, he is constantly falling short, he will start to emotionally distance himself. Many women unknowingly push men away by focusing too much on what they don't want, rather than what they do want. They think that by pointing out a man's mistakes, he will correct them and step up. But what actually happens is the opposite. He feels criticized, judged, or like he can't win, and his motivation to try diminishes. Now, this doesn't mean you should accept poor behavior or lower your standards. It simply means learning how to guide a man toward the right behavior in a way that makes him want to do more of it. Instead of saying, "You never plan anything for us," which sounds like a complaint, say, "I love it when you take the lead. It's so attractive." The second version inspires him rather than making him feel like he's being scolded. This taps into a fundamental part of male psychology. Men are driven by success and the desire to win. When a man feels like he is succeeding in making you happy, he will want to do more of it. If he feels like he is constantly failing, he will stop trying. The key is to create an environment where his efforts are noticed and appreciated. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through genuine admiration. Men don't just want to be loved, they want to be admired. They want to feel like the woman they are with sees them as strong, capable, and valuable. When a man feels admired, he becomes emotionally attached to the person who makes him feel that way. This doesn't mean you have to constantly compliment him, but it does mean noticing and appreciating his strengths. If he's good at fixing things, acknowledge it. If he makes you laugh, tell him. If he's protective of you, let him know that you love that about him. These small moments of admiration reinforce his sense of purpose in the relationship. Men also respond strongly to feeling needed, not in a desperate way, but in a way that makes them feel valued. A man wants to feel like he plays a meaningful role in your life. If you act like you don't need him for anything, he might feel unnecessary, which can weaken his emotional connection to you. This doesn't mean you have to become dependent on him. It simply means allowing him to contribute in ways that matter. Whether it's asking for his opinion on something, letting him help with a task, or simply showing appreciation for his presence, these small moments reinforce his sense of significance in your life. Another key element is making sure he associates your presence with positive emotion. Men fall for how they feel around you. If your time together is filled with joy, laughter, and good energy, he will crave more of that. But if every interaction feels heavy, stressful, or filled with tension, he may start to withdraw. This is why it's so important to focus on the good moments and create new positive experiences together. Instead of constantly discussing problems, spend time building good memories. Have fun together, be playful, and keep things light when possible. A man will always be drawn to a woman who makes his life better, not more stressful. At the core of everything is one truth. Men move toward what feels good and away from what feels bad. When he feels like a winner with you, when he feels admired, appreciated, and like he can make you happy, he will naturally want to be around you more. And that is what makes a man addicted to you. The secret to making a man emotionally addicted to you isn't about playing games or manipulating him. It's about creating a deep emotional bond that he can't find anywhere else. A man might be attracted to many women, but the one he truly commits to is the one who understands him on a level that others don't. When a man feels seen, valued, and emotionally safe with you, he won't just love you, he will crave. Men are often taught to suppress their emotions. Society conditions them to be strong, independent, and unemotional, which means that many men walk through life without a safe place to express their true feelings. But here's the truth. Every man wants to be understood, even if he doesn't say it outright. The woman who provides that emotional safe haven becomes irreplaceable in his life. This doesn't mean you have to be his therapist or constantly pull emotions out of him. It means creating an environment where he feels comfortable enough to open up naturally. This happens when he knows that he won't be judged, criticized, or dismissed for his feelings. If a man starts to share something vulnerable and he feels like you belittle it, make fun of him, or react negatively, he will learn to keep those emotions hidden from you. But if he feels that you genuinely listen, understand, and accept him, he will start to share more. The key here is to be present when he does open up. Many women unintentionally shut down emotional connection by responding in ways that make a man feel unheard. For example, if he shares something that's bothering him and you immediately jump in with a solution or tell him how he should feel, it can make him shut down. Instead, simply listen. Acknowledge his feelings and show that you're there for him. Sometimes a simple "I understand why you feel that way" is all it takes for him to feel truly connected to you. Another crucial aspect of emotional bonding is showing appreciation for who he is, not just what he does. Many men go through life feeling like their value is tied solely to their achievements, how much money they make, how successful they are, or how much they can provide. But deep down, every man wants to feel loved for who he is at his core, not just what he brings to the table. This is why it's so important to recognize and acknowledge the things about him that go beyond the surface. Compliment his character, his heart, his kindness, or his sense of humor. Tell him, "I love the way you think," or "I admire how you handle challenges." These statements go beyond physical attraction and tap into something deeper, his identity. When a man feels like you see and appreciate his essence, he forms an attachment that's hard to break. One of the most powerful ways to deepen emotional connection is to create experiences that bring you closer. People bond through shared moments. Whether they're lighthearted and fun or deep and meaningful, laughter, adventure, and even overcoming small challenges together build a foundation of emotional intimacy. For example, instead of having routine, predictable conversations, try asking him thought-provoking questions instead of just going to dinner. Do something new and exciting together. Creating unique and meaningful experiences gives him something to emotionally attach to when he thinks about you. Another important factor is understanding how he expresses love. Not all men show affection in the same way. Some are vocal, others show love through actions, and some express it through physical touch. If you expect him to show love exactly how you do, you might overlook the ways he's already showing he cares. Learning to recognize his love language helps you connect on a deeper level and prevents unnecessary misunderstandings. At the end of the day, the woman a man can't walk away from isn't necessarily the most beautiful or the most exciting. It's the woman who makes him feel understood, appreciated, and emotionally connected. When you become his safe space, his source of warmth and inspiration, he won't just want to be with you. He will feel like he needs you in his life. That's the kind of emotional bond that makes a man truly addicted to you.